I didn't hear that clap.
It's a terrible clap now. It's the whole thing.
We talked about it yesterday. It's like a defender up in my grill when I'm trying to shoot a 3-pointer. It's tough. I got to figure it out. I got to get.
You really talked about a weak clap yesterday because that was a weak clap.
I have to get. Like I said, I got to fix it.
Okay. Today's November 11th. The rundown. I was in Philly yesterday. Missed it. Real quick, Philly's a dump. And I know everyone makes fun of Philly as like, oh, it's a dump. The place is a legit dump.
It's a dump.
Like, I don't even know how that city is a major city. It is. It has all the sports teams. It's like I felt like I was in Worcester. Like, there's no one out. Where, like, people, like, will be able to get a parking spot. I'm like, it's Philly. I think you can – no one's here. It's just like a dead city.
Put your car on a couple cinder blocks and walk away.
It feels like a post-apocalyptic like city. Like they got invaded, and this just like it's 7 years after they got invaded, and this is what's left. KFC, what's that hat? Real quick before we get into the subjects.
Mets hat.
2015 Mets hat, 7 line.
No, just like official Mets hat.
Also, Kevin, what you did like the Mike Pereira thing yesterday. What's up with that? You're kind of doing it today too, where you're like,
I just put my feet up when I can't really.
Okay, all right.
So,
all right. Let's get into still Missouri and protesting and all that. So Kmarko's back. This story I wish was still going because I laughed out loud at our boy Daddy Dixie being confused for the leader of the KKK at the Missouri rally. That's awesome. I don't know how that happened. And to be honest, him and like Ben walking down the street with their like long like blonde hair, they could be KKK guys. So like I was hoping this continued and people. I wish the Missouri people didn't bounce from this theory so fast that it was Dixie. I would have liked to have seen Hank involved. I just like how we're in the mix. Like, Barstool's there. Oh, they're not doing anything. Oh, by the way, Barstool's guy's the head of the North Carolina chapter of the KKK. He actually texted me the thing. He's like, they're saying I'm the head of the KKK. I was like, Professor Morale or head of the KKK, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So I wish we got more out of it. Maybe we will, but what do we got on our boys being the Dixie man being the head of the KKK? Big Cat?
It's classic Barstool. We live in this bubble. We kind of forget that we live in this bubble. And then we're like, I texted Hank last night. He's like, yeah, it's pretty racially charged here. And I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like driving through the campus with Dixie plaster on your bus might get some people a little upset. My question to you, Dave, we were discussing this. How far would you want it to go? Like, would you want Hank to get beat up by like a mob?
Yes.
Of course he would.
Yes.
Is that a real question? Yeah.
Because I was like, when they're like, oh, yeah, there could be a shooting and stuff, and we were talking about it on text, I was like, you know, we probably should have thought this through, but now that I'm thinking about it, Dave would have told you to go anyway and actually hope for something bad to happen.
I said to Paul, dead serious, that Hank should have had a GoPro and just walked into that camp and been like asking people if he could sleep over. Like,
he should have been like Bruce Willis in Die Hard, walking in Harlem.
Yeah. But, I mean, just I'm not saying say racist stuff, but just be like, I'd like to spend the night in this thing. So, Kmarko, you've been documenting this. What were your thoughts on when you saw that Daddy Dixie had been proclaimed the leader of the North Carolina chapter of the KKK?
Well, we talked about microaggressions on the rundown yesterday, and then I didn't even realize that we had a huge RV with Dixie on the side rolling right into the middle of it. That was like the macro assault category of that. And that KKK thing like took over all of Twitter, and I think that was all just Caleb, right? Like he started that whole rumor. It was this huge thing. Kids are scared to go to class. They thought the KKK was there, and that's just because of Barstool. I don't know if that's a good thing to be associated with, but at least we had a big part of it.
What I could have pictured, like, there's always the scenes, you know, in Jaws when the guy has the fake the fake fin and he comes up from underwater and everyone's got the assault rifles pointed at him. I could have pictured like Hank rolling off the RV in the morning with like a million people with guns pointed at him. That would have been great. Kevin, I know you're loving this. You got to be.
Do we know what he did to have this rumor start? Is there any like what?
No.
I think it's just the name Dixie. Like,
Is Dixie?
The best part was when they called him Danny Dixie or something like that. That was
the
amazing.
backstory. Yeah, the backstory is, Dave, they used to, I pulled up a YouTube of them like yelling about it yesterday. They used to play the song Dixie after Mizzou scored touchdowns, and like people were like, "This is disgusting. Like, we hate Dixie." And then they roll in with the bus.
I've
Dixie.
talked about the song Dixieland before. It's an absolute banger, and it has racial overtones in it, and it stinks because it's literally one of the best songs ever made.
I Wish I Were in Dixie. You mean?
I wish I wish
that's
I were
awesome.
in Dixie. Oh, Ray. Or
Yeah.
it's. I Google that once a month, finding different versions. Like, this is excellent. It's not a message. It would be, I guess, for me, like if Hitler had some awesome jam, like it would stink because it's like an awesome jam, but you can't play it. I thought they played that at Ole Miss. Like, I thought that was a big thing at Ole Miss, Dixie. But is Dixie? This is again a white guy. I thought the Dixie just meant like the South.
Well, we learned yesterday that there are things called microaggressions. So, like, if you tell someone if you ask someone where are you from or do you speak Japanese, that's a microaggression. So, I would say just the name Dixie is probably in that category now.
If they met those guys, they would have been like, these guys aren't KKK.
That's the funniest part is that Caleb's like one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. So having him be declared the KKK, the best part for me was the first picture where he's just standing all polite in front of the sign, University of Missouri. And everybody's response was like, oh, this is going to go real well. Let's see how this ends. And the next update I saw was there's Danny Dixie, the head of the team.
He had his first tweet with just like that little emoji with like the guy. That was perfect too. But listen, that's part of the deal. I walked right into a fucking anti-me rally. You got that's part, and they're not even against him. They thought they were against him. So I was psyched. I wish Hank got taken for a couple hours, but it was still good theater.
I hate to get taken. What the?
It's so weird.
You don't live in the real world.
I live in the real world. I live in our reality is page views. That's the four of us' reality.
So
this
we can
over there in Missouri
for a few hours.
We're more reality than what's going on in Missouri. Missouri's banana land. You got that, and I know I don't want to go all into it, but like the professor, the fact she's not fired yet, she like basically resigned, like being the head of the party committee. Like, I mean, it wasn't even a fucking real job. She quit. The professor who just resigned. I don't know if I like this move or not. Kmarko, explain what happened here.
Yeah, this is the problem with the fact that these kids could stomp their feet and get the president to resign in like a day. And now they're just trying to take more things. So they didn't feel safe on campus because of fake KKK threats, and they didn't want to go take their exam in the morning. So they flooded this guy with emails about how they didn't feel safe going. And he said, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm having the class. I'm giving the exam. And everyone just blew him up. And so eventually he got pressured enough that he canceled the exam and said, okay, I quit. Like, I'm done with this. And the guy's a doctor. He's got like a 14-page resume. Everyone on campus loves him. And now he's just quitting. And like everyone in Missouri is just slowly leaving because they don't want to deal with this shit.
So who wins or loses in that situation?
The school loses, and the students who wanted to go to class and learn lose. The protesters win again because they're just getting everything they want because they cry the loudest and stomp their feet.
But if everyone just leaves there's no school, then the protesters kind of lose, don't they?
No, then they'll have the safest space ever. That's what they want.
Yeah, but there's no one
what
to
do you got on
protest
this
again.
professor?
They're completely fucking themselves. Like you're losing good people, good professors. Nobody wants to fucking work at this school anymore. Name me one professor that is like thinking about going to Missouri right now. It's so bad for the long run, and these kids have like they're unable to see that. It's unbelievable. It was just a couple rumors. The guy said class is still on. We're still having our test, and I kind of like the move by him. Just being like, all right, fuck this, I'm out. It's like a kind of I'm going to take my ball and go home sort of thing. But if there's one place that deserves it, it's this. It's these guys.
Big Cat?
I love this guy simply because he's a gym teacher, right, Keith? He's like a nutrition and exercise teacher. So it wasn't even a real class. Like the exam room was a gym. And his name's Dale. So like Dale, the gym teacher, being like, fuck all you, I'm out. Power move. Love Dale, the gym teacher. I don't care how many.
Have you guys talked about whether
that's not real.
the like, and I know a safe space, whatever. I won't even go into it. I'm not even sure any of it. I think There's a lot of.
You have a lot on your mind right now. Let it
well,
out.
I didn't get to do it. The whole thing. It's why I started with this Missouri. The fact is the two people who issued the complaints, like the N-words, were already involved in student government, student activism. It's huge red flag. That I know they were looking for a reason to protest. It's one thing, like and I don't want to put myself in a hero role here, and I'm not like a role model. But, like, I wasn't looking to protest Goodell. Like, I wasn't waiting my whole life to, like, sit in NFL. A major issue confronted me. These kids have been waiting for this forever. That's what makes me nervous about this whole protest thing.
I don't know if you guys talked about this, Dave, but the whole swastika thing, I don't know why that became their big rallying point. Like, as the three Jews on here can attest, I think we're more offended by that than, like, the kid went on a hunger strike because of a poop swastika. Like, that's our thing. That's a Jew thing.
And it wasn't that. It isn't that
was
fake?
also a red flag because it's. I didn't believe that from the get go. What fucking like Nazi would write something in his own shit?
And it's probably not that easy to do that on the wall. If Hank was here, I'd make him try. But I bet. But isn't that pretty much now been confirmed? Like fake? Like there's no evidence of it ever happening.
Yeah, I blogged that today. There's no evidence, and it seems fake. I didn't outright say it's fake because you never know. They just, if somebody has evidence, just show it, and then it'll go away. But nobody believes it.
There would be a picture. Someone had to clean it up. There would be a janitor or someone who said, "Yeah, I'm the one who fucking cleaned up the poop swastika." Right. There's no way that happened with no sort of evidence.
I just don't understand.
That's where this is always like a sort of a great, because you can't be like, oh, well, obviously you can't go around calling people the N-word. I just, it seems a lot on like basically nothing. And I don't even know I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Even the part where they say someone drove by like all these people, wouldn't you chase them down and like beat them up or something? I don't know. There's a lot of things that don't add up, and by the way, I have no problem with people protesting. My big problem with protesting is a lot of these idiots who protest and obviously we've seen this, want their cake and eat it too. They can protest, but then they don't want First Amendment speech. I have a problem when you block highways and ruin other people's lives. I have a problem with that shit. But just protesting, be a man, go to jail, pay your dues like I did, and prove a point. Moving on to the next story.
I was waiting for you to insert yourself there.
He also your new thing is you do this, and you like pause, waiting to see if we kind of like boozed you up a little bit more and talk about.
Oh yeah, Kevin, that's what
a total chick move.
No, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for you guys to boost me up because that happens so much. I'm like, let me give a chance for these guys to say.
Talk about me. Here's your moment to jump in and talk about.
How much social activism have you done, you loser?
It's like, oh, he's lashing out. You're lashing out. It's a chick move, Dave. It's like when
I have
like
social
a girl
activism
wants to have
experience.
A bite of something, and she's like,
I've
gone
to jail for something I believe in. I've gone to jail for something I believe in. We're talking over each other. I didn't hear what you said because I'm saying it louder. I have gone to jail for something I believe in. None of you on this panel have, so I should be allowed to say we're talking protests. I've had an entire protest against me personally that I showed up at. I've gone to jail. I have a lot of social activism experience, and if you don't want me to share that with this panel, I rushed home from Philadelphia to get here so I could share that with people. And this is the way I'm being treated, and it's wrong, and I'm just going to move on and pretend, I'm waiting for KFC to puff me up. Yeah, that's what's happening.
You didn't ask for
DraftKings.
DraftKings. I want to... Never mind.
DraftKings and FanDuel have been ruled illegal by the Attorney General of New York. Big blow. For the record, we are generally pro DraftKings because they pay us money. There's like 2% where it's like maybe not taking equity wasn't the dumbest thing, but they pay a lot of salaries here, so you got to root for them. So let's be full disclosure. That's what we are. This is an interesting one. Here's my point real quick. I don't know how poker can be illegal and DraftKings can't, but it should all be legal. That's the major problem. The government telling you what you can bet on and what you can't. And this guy, this Attorney General, like his speech was so over the top. Like we're protecting people from getting fleeced. He also said reverse shit, where he's like, it's total. It's there's no skill involved. It's total luck, but 1% of the people are winning, which are like direct opposite statements. Well, it's not luck. It is skill. Kmarko, you are a resident. I was surprised to even see you make it out of bed today because this is devastating news for you. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this was fun. We did the rundown, and then I did like 3 more Missouri stories, and then I like had a little tweet trickle in like pray for Kmarko, and I was like, oh, something else must have happened, and it was like, oh, DraftKings is shut down in New York as I was doing my fucking daily DraftKings blog. It's just been a bad week. This is the worst part. Fucking Schneiderman is like making his big stand, like fantasy sports is the worst thing in the world, like giving his big finger pointing speech. Meanwhile, the fucking subways are plastered with New York lottery ads. There's like 50 commercials a week, but basically just prey on poor people stealing their money. But you can't play. You're right. It is a skill game. Like if you're good at it, you can make money. Like you spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time doing these blogs, like breaking stuff down. You can get good at it. And it's not just complete luck, like gambling or something like that. It just fucking blows my mind that people are so stupid. Just regulate it. Make rules for it. Make money for the state off of it. Don't just fucking ban it.
Yeah, totally agree. Big Cat?
It's so stupid. Legalize gambling, legalize DraftKings, legalize marijuana, legalize maybe some other recreational drugs.
For sure.
Prostitution should 1,000%
Prostitution, maybe some other recreational drugs, Adderall. Legalize all the fucking shit and just regulate it. Just
and
put
make
more
money
money into the government. Like, it's so goddamn stupid. I don't understand how they could do this. And I will say this. It sucks that every time this news comes out, the first thing I think of is like DraftKings and FanDuel are going to go down and Dave's going to come out a winner. And I don't understand how it's possible.
No, we won't, though, because they're a good client. I mean, I will.
Something will happen where you come out winning.
In terms of my brain, like, yeah, but in terms of the company, no. KFC?
Yeah, I mean, my first thought is how you're gonna weasel out of this DraftKings equity thing. And you're right. I mean, obviously, on the whole, it's bad because they are a big client, but that still has to eat at you on some level. And if all the dominoes fall and it goes away, you getting to be like, oh, page views wins again. I was right. That'll fucking crush me. That will fucking eat at my soul.
I will say, too, the Schneiderman guy, that almost looked like a blog he wrote. Like, the only time I've heard someone be not on my watch is generally when I'm trying to, like, say something ridiculous on the blog. Just so over the top, almost like he had an agenda. But it is sad to see him go commercial.
Was this related to the kid who got them caught, like the insider trading shit?
Well, that started the whole...
Right. Dude, so that kid's going to end up dead in a fucking river. Someone's losing tons of money off of that kid.
He's still there. I mean, we know him.
Yeah, we do know him. His name is Schneiderman?
Schneiderman.
Can't trust that. You can't do 2 Jew names together. That's fucked up.
Or that's like Ultimate Jew. That's like
but like
Captain Planet,
too
powers
much.
combining.
That's too much.
I wouldn't even know Schneiderman was a Jew name.
Dave.
Schneider.
Schneider?
Oh, next. Schneiderman. Fucking Christ.
I didn't know that was a Jew name. I didn't.
You do not live in this world. It's just not. You're with you're already with the aliens.
Commercial break. That still was weak. We're back.
It's the microphone. We used to get a nice like echo, and now it's like it's killing me. Fucks up my whole show, Dan.
It's killing me.
I'm going to give a quick blogging lesson to our boy Smitty. Because I saw the story, I had to research. Like, I don't know if you guys have been following this. He blogged this Monday. There was the Philly fan who a Cowboys fan knocked out a Philly fan. Then we fast forward, and it turns out they're both Philly fans. And then fast forward again, and they're brothers. Smitty did not put that they were brothers in the headline of the blog. It just said it turned out. That, for everybody blogging at home who's saying you have the brothers thing's by far the best part of this. It has to be in the headline because that's what draws people in. I'm like, I saw it. I'm like, did he know it was brothers? It's the opening line, and they're brothers. But when you search for it, it has to be brothers. Amazing story. I just came from Philly. I don't know if I said it. The place is an absolute dump, and this is Philly being Philly. Like, I don't know why he was wearing the Cowboys, but knocking each other out like cold in the crowd. The most Philly, this is up there. It won't get the publicity 5 years down the road. This is up there with a snowball thing. Like two Philly brothers knocking each other out at a Cowboy game. Big Cat?
I mean, it just reminds me of Hitchbot. Like they killed Hitchbot and they'll just fight each other. And the Eagles won. Like, what are you doing? It's not like the Eagles were down 1,000,000 points. They were. I think they were up basically that entire game.
And they do thing like it's almost the Mo Smitty thing, like, oh, look at Philly fans. Only Philly fans fight.
Dude,
and then this
all did that.
story just slowly unraveled.
Everyone I know from Philly was like, oh, only in Philadelphia. Look at these Eagles fans dressed in Dallas clothing. Blah, blah, blah. I saw so many people in Barstool, out of Barstool, and then it turns out it was Philly. It was poetry. It was beautiful seeing that unfold.
Philly brothers. Okay, Marco, you got anything on this one?
If it doesn't have Missouri in the headline, I really didn't pay attention
Or
to it.
DraftKings, and that, by the way, all these other protests are so fucking stupid. I'm gonna write. They should cancel college. Like the only things you should go to college for now, because it's such pussyville, is like things like doctors or things like engineers, where you need specifics. These liberal arts, gender studies, get them the fuck out. If they're just gonna go get a fucking job, homie. Like they have too much time. These psych majors, they don't do fucking nothing. So it's like, what are we gonna do? They don't play video games, so they go protest shit. And this is the country shouldn't be worrying about these fucking idiots. If you're not taking some things, doctors, those people, neuroscience engineers, things that are like math.
Slow down, Dave. Slow down,
Dave,
bud.
what was your major at Michigan?
Well, I started nursing, and then I went, but I'm fine with that. I didn't need college. I was trying to run a website, thegamblingman.com. That was my first website. It had those little like emoji fireworks that came out. I gave like 3 picks a day. So I was doing the nursing shit on the side and prepping for my real career 9 to 5. It was a great site. The gambling, little fireworks would come out every pick. I had a good following too. Kendall Jenner. So Victoria's Secret fashion show, wake up Victoria's Secret. We can't do this shit live. It's ridiculous. You're going to give us that super overproduced garbage that they give around Christmas. But Kendall Jenner, to me, this is big news. She is now one of the angels. That's like fucking huge. I saw pictures of her. I do not think she stacks up with the other angels. I thought she looked like a little girl. What'd you think, KFC, on Kendall Jenner?
She doesn't stack up, but that's tough. It's tough to stack up, So I don't know. I saw Gigi Hadid or whatever her name is. She posted a picture and was like the next generation, like her and Kendall. I can kind of get down with that. I mean, eventually you gotta cycle some new chicks in there. We've been working with the same angels for a pretty long time now. I feel like we almost kind of lived through like the golden age of it, like the hottest chicks of all time. So while I don't think she really stacks up right now at the moment, I think out of the new, like, young crop of hot chicks, she's pretty much at the top as far as model bodies go. Yeah. So I don't think she stacks up, but I think, she's just the next generation.
Kmarko?
Yeah, I think Gigi's way hotter than Kendall to begin with. And I like the idea of mixing in, like, real people. Well, not real, like, Instagram stars, but, like, mixing in people with these no-name models, like, mix it up a little bit. Get some of the Instagram girls in there, get some love for them. I don't mind it at all.
Big Cat?
I think she stacks up. I think it's the like what comes with her, like ruins her, and like the name and everything. If she would just like was there and a random girl, you'd probably be like, oh, she's really hot. Like I never even thought about it. It's like the Cowboys or Notre Dame. You have to pay extra to bet on them. You know what I mean? There's some juice into it. So you see her and you're like, she should be way hotter. But if she was just a no name, you'd probably not even notice.
Yeah. Right. She'd be known. She did for the attention. She didn't let her sisters go because she didn't want to draw attention, but she let Caitlyn go, which is
how weird is that? She was sitting front row, like clapping for her daughter. That you're walking the runway in your underwear and you look down at your tranny dad. That you're not normal. Your brain can't be normal if that kind of stuff is happening.
That's a rundown. Did we miss anything? Was that?
Well, yeah. What? You can't handle Adderall, dude.
What do you mean?
You cannot. You would die.
I thought everyone would be on my side.
But have you never done Adderall before?
What?
You never done Adderall before?
That's the best part. Is like you have.
Oh yeah.
Your heart would explode. If you did Adderall every day, like you can't. We've already established this. You're the guy who smokes weed and says you're like.
I think our boy Dylan just shut the whole show off.
He did.
It's just black. It's dark. He's just walking around. I don't know why he was walking around. We're still doing the show, but he like kicked out all the wires.
You're good. Keep going.
Dump button.
Anybody there?
Yeah, we're
We're
here.
all here. You can just keep talking.
Yeah.
I mean, Dylan, he just started walking in like a circle and just kicked all the wires out. Adderall, no, my heart can take it. I drink gallons of coffee. That's totally different. Pot and Adderall are two totally different things. It's a blogging drug. I'm dead right about that. The problem is, are you shaking your head no, Kmarko?
No, I completely agree. Adderall's the
I
drug-
wish I could do it. Yeah, I wish I could do it too. I wish I had an Adderall prescription.
How do you get one? College kids get it all the time.
I heard that. I heard all you have to do is walk in and say you get Adderall, and then they'll give it to you. I did that, and they gave me like 2 days, 10 hours each of testing to see if I needed it, and I didn't pass, and I didn't get it.
That's what happened when I tried to get Viagra. I was like, no thanks.
Adderall, I think, is like legal in some. That's a drug that should be legal. If I don't understand why Adderall and like HGH aren't legal. They help you, but they might hurt you at the end of your life.
That's actually, as we're talking, like I'm gonna try to get all of us on Adderall. Imagine how much better our blog it would be. Yeah. People like these guys are writing like masterpieces at 4 a.m.
I'd lose weight. I'd lose a lot of weight. It would be good for the whole thing.
I'm not down. I don't understand. I never understood. Like, I don't want to do Adderall to work. I don't want to do Adderall to fucking do schoolwork.
What's that movie with Bradley Cooper when he takes a pill and then he's like the smartest guy ever?
Yeah, it's basically Adderall. Yeah, whatever
that's what it is.
That's 100% it.
Like I love my.
Drugs,
do you not drink coffee, Kevin?
Right, I don't do any of that shit. I don't want any of that.
That's you're very lucky. You've made it. I mean, you don't even. That's like not trying.
I'm a natural talent, Dave. I'm a fucking natural talent. I don't need any of this shit.
Not drinking coffee, first of all, is a childish move, and it's like borderline.
Yeah, I'm the child. You guys who can't fucking wake up and function like a normal.
This is like our biggest
drink.
This is like the biggest thing I have against Kevin is the fact that he doesn't drink coffee.
Not even that. Not even that. The worst part is that he claims it doesn't do anything to you.
Right.
It's fucking science. It's a drug. It's not. It's on your mind. It's literally science.
No. And it tastes like shit. You guys are always taking dumps because of it. What's the appeal of it? It's
Kevin, I would shit. I would shit otherwise. Doesn't really. Coffee's not
wrong taking a dump.
Big dumps.
Coffee makes me shit, especially when you're.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like.
But I don't care. My best work is when my brain is fine. I'm telling you, if I took Adderall, I wrote it kind of half joking. I think I'd be like an X-Man character. Like I think my brain would supersede normal brains. I'd be doing things that you didn't even know existed.
Well, the
problem is you would get used to it, just like you're used to coffee, and then what? Then it's Coke, and then you're dead. So that's the progression.
Have you ever taken the 80 milligram like time release Adderalls?
I don't know. I'm not that familiar with like the different languages.
The fucking Dixie Boys when we were in Alabama or Dallas gave me one. I walked up to the top of Jerry World. My heart almost exploded. Like I was sitting. I had to sit down halfway up, and I was like tapping my head for oxygen. I was awful, man.
I would have like a human Larry David book, like computer. The ideas it would.
You would write a book. You would have written a book by now.
I would have the book, the shark book report, and the 8, 16, 12, 24 thing done in like 2 hours.
Oh, what's the update, by the way? Are you doing that tomorrow?
I'm noodly because the hotel I stayed in last night, ask Paul, ask Gaz, it had no water pressure and no AC. So I didn't sleep a lick, and I got to start the thing at midnight. I kind of want to do it on the 24 hours of basketball on ESPN because if I gamble, I'll stay up. That's a natural endorphin. So, but I am going to do it.
You are the biggest complainer in the world.
I'm the biggest complainer?
Yes. I just asked if you were going to do the challenge. You hyped up on Monday, and then you listed like 7 things that got in your way. Water pressure means you can't do this thing.
No. The AC not even coming close to like All right, laugh. Everyone, this is one. I don't want this
Gonna do it.
going. This is running long.
It's coming. It's coming.
This is running. No, this is running long. But anybody who says an AC in Philly that dump, that anybody who says an AC that doesn't get a hotel room that you have a chance of sleeping, I put on 62. It was 78. I can't sleep in that. That's the
You've
rundown.
never been in a hotel room where the AC works.
What are you You said it the other day, Dan. You
Dude,
came
we're
into
in
my
the
room
same-
and you were like, "Oh, you're right. It's hot."
Yeah, but I don't know what it is. It's the only thing that you have cursed. You can never
Come on.
find.
No, everybody is in hotel rooms that the AC does not
I know,
work.
but we'll stay in the same hotels, and my AC will work, and yours won't. Every time we go to a hotel, you complain about the AC.
It's a major problem. That's why I want to do air pressure and water pressure and AC. That would be the name of my chain. So we're done. We're done here.
Hashtag done.
Never mind.